Hi everybody, welcome back. For week 12 of the 2012 NFL season, I went 6-2 with my picks last week. My only two losses were by a half a point each. Ugh. The good thing is that I spoke to the football guru on a Google Hangout for about an hour. And we talked football, and he talked me out of a bad play, and I talked him out of a bad play. I've been saying for the last couple of weeks in my videos, we should all get together on Google Hangouts. If you don't know how to do it, send me a PM, I'll show you how. All of us together will do a lot better on taking the man's money. All right, let's get right to the picks. The first game we're going to look at has Buffalo going to Indianapolis, where the Colts are 3-point favorites at home. Don't be discouraged with what you saw with Andrew Luck last week against the Patriots, against Brady and Belichick. That's happened to more than one quarterback in the past 12 years or so. The Buffalo Bills have only beaten 4 teams this year: Kansas City, Cleveland, Arizona, and Miami. Those teams are 11-29 straight up. Actually, those 4 teams have only won 5 games since week 5. Lay the points, take Indianapolis -3. The second game we're going to look at has Tennessee going to Jacksonville, where the Jags are 3-point dogs at home. You saw what Jacksonville did on the road last week. Well, I said that would happen. They're 5-0 on the road, and then everyone gets so excited when they do so well on the road. They come back and they're 0-5 at home. That's what's going to happen here. They caught the Texans napping. Tennessee is coming off of the bye. Jacksonville just doesn't play well at home. They've been outscored 153-44 in Jacksonville. Lay the points, take Tennessee -3. The third game we're going to look at has San Francisco going to New Orleans, where the Saints are 2.5-point favorites. That was a great game by Colin Kaepernick in his debut as quarterback. Well, that was at home against a team with their second-string quarterback on grass. Now, he has to go across the country in a dome on turf against Drew Brees. This is a totally different story here. San Francisco doesn't even have to win this game. They have a comfortable lead in the NFC West by a game and a half. The Saints, meanwhile, pretty well have to win straight out if they want to make the playoffs, because it looks like Atlanta's going to win that division. I think the Saints are going to win straight out, and I'm predicting that the Saints are going to go to the Super Bowl. It'll be New Orleans versus Denver. Okay? Drew Brees versus Peyton Manning. Different team for Manning this time. You heard it here first. I think this will be actually an easy game for New Orleans. Take the Saints -2.5 points. All right. The fourth game we're going to look at has Seattle going to Miami, where the Dolphins are 3-point dogs at home. Okay, Seattle is coming off the bye, but Miami's coming off the Thursday game, so that sort of negates any advantage one team has. Seattle has to go from one end of the country all the way to the other. This game's going to be like playing at 10 o'clock in the morning for Seattle. It's one thing for them to be dogs at home, but now they're being their favorites on the road. They've actually been outscored 96-71 on the road here. I don't see why they're the favorites. Let's take the points. Take Miami +3. All right, bit of a beer break time. Now, I did a lot better with my picks this week, so I was able to go back to my normal brand, Molson Canadian, which happens to be the Talk Rappers brand as well. Good stuff. All right. Here are the 4 over-under plays. The first game we're going to look at has Pittsburgh going to Cleveland. That number is 38. Charlie Batch is in at quarterback for Pittsburgh. Kind of like last year when Roethlisberger went down, Batch came in, played Cleveland, I think in week 17. The score was 13-9. This will be a really low-scoring game. Take under 38. The second game we're going to look at has Oakland going to Cincinnati. That number is 49 here. Oakland's given up 135 points in their last 3 games. They're dead last in the league in terms of points being scored. Carson Palmer makes his return to Cincinnati. He used to be their quarterback. He'll want to put up some points for Oakland. I think this is going to sail way over the number. Take over 49.5. The third game we're going to look at has, what is the third game? Yes, we talked about it earlier. Seattle at Miami. Low number here, 37.5. You know, the Seahawks are number 2 in defense, and Miami's number 8 in defense in terms of points allowed. Neither team is really good at scoring. We talked about how Seattle has been outscored on the road. They've had one game where I think they played Detroit. The score was 28-24. If you take that game away, they're averaging in the games, both teams on the road for Seattle, the score is 27.5 points for both teams, okay? So let's take under the 37.5 there. And the fourth game we're going to look at has Green Bay going to New York to take on the Giants. That number is 49.5. These two teams played each other last year twice. Both of them were shootouts, especially the one in New York. There were a lot of concerns about Eli Manning's arm, that he had a tired arm. Well, he's had a week off to rest up. Meanwhile, he's facing off against Aaron Rodgers. Both teams are highly motivated to win this game. This should be a big-time shootout. Let's take over 49.5. Okay, we'll talk about the straight-up games here. Last week was one of those aberrations where there was only one game where the underdog won. That was the Jets. This week, there are no less than 13 games where the point spread is 3 points or less. So this is a real toss-up. I usually like to pick about 3 or 4 upsets a week. Didn't happen last week, but it will this week. The 3 games on Thursday, if you're in a suicide pool, you might want to pick the New England Patriots. But you know what? That's a division game where the favorite is on the road. Maybe avoid that. There are 2 other games on Sunday. We talked about Oakland is at Cincinnati. It's a pretty big spread. I'm sure Cincinnati will win. Or Denver is at poor Kansas City. That's a road game where it's also a division matchup. It doesn't matter. I'm going to take Denver with my suicide pick for those of you who are still alive in your suicide pools. All right. Those are my picks for this week. Good luck to you. Just want to say happy Thanksgiving, America. And for the GeoKnows channel, I am Geo. Let's take the man's money.